Welcome to cleveland.com. I'm your host, Mark Kern, joined by boys basketball reporters Tim Bielik and David. Guys, let's take a look at this high school basketball scene.
Great.
All right, Tim, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's just get right into the questions. First question, of all the teams that went to state last year, who do you think has the best chance of going back? Tim, start with you.
I got to look at the Vikings of VASJ. They were number one throughout most of the year last year. They bring pretty much that entire team back. I mean, that trio, Carlin Bragg, Brian Parker, Derek Partons is too strong. I think they got as good a chance as anybody to get down to Columbus.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of teams that can do it. I think what works probably the most in VSJ's favor is in Division III, it's a little easier than Division I and Division II. So I would put my money on them.
Definitely, though, that Division III region, very difficult for VASJ. So a lot of good teams, as you said. What transfer could have the biggest impact, David?
I'm going to go with Brandon Peters, point guard at Warrensville. I was originally going to go with Jalen Harris of Cleveland Heights, but I like Peters because I think he can fill right in where Jalen Jackson left off and really help that team get back to where it was last year.
Yeah, I'm with you there on Brandon Peters. And it's interesting for Warrensville because I think Yvari Hall is one of the top juniors out there. People are going to know his name more this year, especially after how he ended last season. Adding Brandon Peters, who's got some experience after playing at Central Catholic, is going to really give that Warrensville Heights team a very good backcourt.
All right, guys, and I know we're a long ways away from conference play, but let's go ahead. What conference really sticks out to you as the best?
I'm going to go with the Lake Erie League. I think it's tremendous this year when you look at teams like Bedford, Warrensville Heights, Lorraine, Cleveland Heights, and then, Maple Heights and Euclid are strong teams too. And Shaw is a pesky team that can get a big win when it needs to. I think just top to bottom, these are all teams that can really make a lot of damage in March.
I'm going to go with the Northeast Ohio Conference Valley Division. Now, it's not as strong as last year, but honestly, how can he be after you had 5 teams that were rotating in and out of the top 20? This year, you got 4 in the top 20. Which we'll get into later. But Shaker Heights and Garfield Heights are going to be strong again this year. Medina, you've got John Teskey, the 7-footer, committed to Michigan as a junior. And then obviously Menor, Micah Potter is emerging as one of the better big men on that side of Cuyahoga County. Brunswick Strongs are pesky as well, so no easy games in that division. All
right, and before you get to conference play, obviously some non-conference games. Tim, what's the one game that really sticks out to you, a team going against a team out of state?
I got to go with VSJ and Oak Hill. That's going to be a very interesting one. Oak Hill, we all know, one of the top powers year after year in high school basketball. They've done a tremendous job out there. I'm curious to see how VSJ is going to match up against that powerhouse.
I'm going to go with McDuffie from Massachusetts playing St. Edward at Dunk for Diabetes. McDuffie has former North Royalton star Omari Spellman, so he'll be making his return. And St. Edward was the team that North Royalton beat 2 years ago in the state tournament. So there's a little extra juice with Omari playing them.
All right, guys, a lot of stars on the post and on the perimeter. David, best inside-outside duo in the area?
Man, this is such a tough question for me. I'm going to go right now with Bedford, and they're really, it's not, I'm going with them because I think they have great guards and a very good front court, like right at the moment. I think there's a lot of other teams can develop into that, but when you look at a guy like Mike Smith, who's a very good point guard for Bedford, and then you look at someone like Lamont Rhodes, who's a good big low post player for them, I think that Bedford right at the moment has that combo.
I'm going to go kind of off the board on this one. I'm going to say Medina because, it's hard to go against having a 7-footer like John Teskey who can not only work in the low post but can shoot threes, but also they have a couple guards I like, particularly Zach Bennett and Tyler King. Each one of them has the ability to shoot threes, and when I consider what inside-outside duo means, I look at it as a guy, a big man who can really work the post, and a guy on the outside who can hit threes. And Tyler King and Zach Bennett are interchangeable in that regard. I know that's kind of cheating because it's picking 2 outside guys instead of 1, but I really think both of them can each produce one at a time in case the other one's struggling.
All right, guys, guards in the postseason really play a big role. Got to control the tempo of the game. Tim, best backcourt in the area?
Got to go East-Tech. Markel Johnson emerging as a sophomore last year. Anthony Carmen as a senior. That's a group, that's a duo I think that's going to be extremely tough to stop for anybody.
Not much else to say, really. I go East-Tech, but watch out, Warrensville, Lorraine, Bedford, those are really good backcourts as well.
All right, guys, I want a little bit more debating on this one. So, best front court, Tim?
I got to go with St. Edward. It's hard to go against Kipper Nichols, who was arguably the best player in the Division I Final Four last year. Derek Funderburg comes back as a junior after he had that injury that kept him out most of last season, played tremendous in the Final Four as well. And Mike Ryan kind of the unsung guy, that backcourt that provides the leadership as a senior to go along with Kipper Nichols. That's a tough group to go against.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I'm just going to, for me, it's 50-50. You could toss it up. St. Edward or villa-angela-st-joseph. The Vikings have Carlton Bragg, Brian Parker, Derek Pardon. All those are Division I players and very good Division I players.
All right, guys, we're going to be joined by Coach Flannery in a couple minutes, but put yourself as the coach. Who do you want shooting the last-second shot from the area? Tim?
Going Devin Stover, I mean, from St. Ignatius. He's already proven, and he had that game-winning shot against Berea Mid-Park to win the Grafton District Final last year. He's a southpaw with tremendous range from three-point territory. He's going to be the big guy for St. Ignatius scoring-wise, and he really has tremendous shooting range.
I'm going to go kind of a similar theme. I'm going to go with Markel Johnson of East-Tech. He hit the big shot last year to win the regional final at Cleveland State. He's shown he can do it. A lot of these other players are talented, and they've hit big shots in their career, but on that stage, I mean, that's why I go with Johnson.
All right, guys, a lot of great answers and some exciting. We're going to get to see how correct you were on those answers. Now let's go take a look. The cleveland.com top 25 poll came up a couple days. Obviously, VASJ is at the top, number one. When you were looking at the top 5 teams, Tim, what was maybe the most difficult decision?
Decide between number 2 and number 3. It was Central Catholic and St. Edward. We had Central Catholic up at number 2 and St. Edward number 3. And I think the biggest reason is because Central Catholic has a lot less unknowns. We know more about them. You know, they're more balanced as far as what we know with Tervel Beck, Antoine Lillard, Montel McCray. St. Edward, we know they have a tremendous front court I was talking about earlier, but you know the backcourt's kind of a question, especially after graduating some talented guys in that backcourt, including Tony Vianchik. So there's a few more questions there. So right now, I think we know a lot more about Central Catholic than we know about St. Ed's. That's why I think we have them number 2.
All right, and David, you had Shaker Heights at number 4, Garfield Heights at number 5, 2 conference foes that played some very competitive games last year. What was the difference there?
Difference for me is Shaker's going to have the best player on the floor in Issa Ahmad. And they're 2 very even teams. They're 2 quality teams, 2 teams that I could see making a run out of Columbus. But, you know, when you haven't seen them play and there's a tiebreaker, you go with Issa Ahmad.
All right, and Tim, really that top 5 seems to have a little bit of distance separated from the rest of the pack. If there's a team maybe in that 6 to 15 range that you think could really surprise and have a big year, who are you looking at?
I'm going with a team that probably was the best team at the end of the year last year in Warrensville Heights. They were as good as anybody down the stretch. Yavari Hall's an excellent scorer who really came on. Having Brandon Peters there is going to help tremendously. They play in that tough LEL. They came out as the champions. So that experience of getting there and really pushing VASJ as much as anyone did in the playoffs last year has to give this team a ton of confidence. I expect them down the stretch to really push again and contend for another LEL title.
Anybody else, Dave?
I look at Bedford at number 10. They're a team that is flying under a lot of people's radar right now, but just great guards, great front court, returned almost everyone from last year's team. Team that grew up together, and they have a shot right off the bat Friday night. They're hosting St. Edward. And just quickly, best team that had a losing record last year, Lorraine. Devin Andrews is going to be there a whole season. You got Rashad Berry, who's a great football player, but he really adds a lot to basketball as well.
All right, and one final question about this top 25. Who was a team that didn't quite get in that both of you guys think could be in pretty quickly?
For me, I have to say Lakewood. They were a team that obviously played very well last year, upset North Royalton in the tournament, got Wes Gearhart back, and they're a team that's just well coached with Coach Argento, and I think that, you know, if they can string together some wins early, you'll see them in there.
I think Nordonia might have a chance to do something interesting as well, but they're kind of in the same thing that Menor went through last year, where some of the guys who were on the football team last year aren't going to be on the court for another week at least. So, I mean, they could start slow, so it may take them a little while to really get themselves into a flow and get on there, but I think they got a shot to contend in that suburban league and really make things interesting, so I'll go with them.
All right, and as you said, Dave, a lot of matchups early in the season featuring top 25 teams, so we'll definitely get to learn a lot about these teams early. And one of those teams in action on Friday night will be St. Edward and Coach Eric Flannery, the defending Division I state champions. And now we are joined by Coach Flannery. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Not too bad. Coach, obviously a tremendous season last year. Just talk about what these first couple weeks have been for practice and just getting back to, you know, now you're the guys that are being hunted rather than the hunter.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously being at St. Ed's, you always have a little bit of that stigma on you that people are going to give you your best game. And, even throughout last year, I think we were ranked, in the top 1 or 2 all season. So we are somewhat used to, at least having that type of pressure on us. But it's been fun because we're back at it, and it seems like it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago that we had won the state championship, so time does fly. But now we're enjoying the football run. We're watching, that success that the football team's having. And, we do have 5 guys that are on the football team this year that are going to play basketball and be a big part of what we do. So, the numbers are a little low right now in practice, and we don't feel like we have a full squad quite yet. So we're just trying to work on some of the little things and kind of put the basic stuff in, both offensively and defensively, to simply get us ready to play in this first game Friday night. But very excited. Excited to be able to have the opportunity to repeat and to defend the title.
Coach, this is Dave now. When you look at Friday, you start right off the bat with a huge game. Bedford is a team that's much improved from last season, and a team that is going to relish the opportunity to host you guys to start things off. What can playing a very important game like this early in the season do for your team, and what are you expecting on Friday?
Well, like you said, Dave, I think all of our games are really important. You guys talked a little bit about the top 25, and I've seen it. We play every single one of the top 10 teams this year, so we have no rest in our schedule. We have no opportunity to take a night off. So, Friday night's no different. We have to come ready to play. There are no excuses. We might have some guys that are playing football and not have our full team, but we got to be ready to play. We know Bedford is very good. We know they're extremely talented. We know they have everybody back. We're playing at their home court, and I just know it's going to be a real tough game for us to open up the season. But that's what we want. Night in and night out, we want to be tested. We want everybody's best, and we're going to find out a lot about our team right off the bat Friday night.
Coach, this is Tim. When you look at this team, obviously people know all about this front court with Kipper Nichols, Mike Ryan, and Derek Funderburk. Probably as good a front court as there is in Northeast Ohio. Who's the guy in the back court, which is kind of the unknown with 2 of your guys graduating? Who's the guy back there that you feel like everybody will know by the end of the season?
Well, first of all, I think our front court is very good. Kipper Nichols obviously proved last year what he's capable of doing, and obviously, he's going to be the guy that carries us. I don't think people understand how good Derek Funderburk is going to be this year, because even though he played last year and kind of came on with that injury, he has really made unbelievable strides, in my opinion, and I think he is one of the best players that I've ever coached, which says a ton about his ability and what he has going forward. Now, obviously, the backcourt's going to be a big question for us. Darian Knowles, who came off the bench for us last year, I think is a tremendous athlete, a very good basketball player, but needs some of that game experience and some of that toughness to kind of get through. So, he is going to be a big key as to how good this basketball team can be. My son Sean Flannery, the point guard, at least starting off the season, is going to be crucial for us in handling pressure and getting the ball to the right people. But I think we finally have somebody, and I hope he doesn't listen, but he's a lot better than I ever was and is a lot smarter than I am as far as a basketball coach. So I finally have somebody that thinks a lot like me and understands what I want from that position. So I'm excited to have, him in that position that can kind of run the show and act like a coach on the floor. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And then, again, just being here at St. Ed's and having the program that we've built, we do have other guys that are going to play a lot of minutes. Tommy Schmock, who's a sophomore, is going to get some key minutes early in the season until the football guys get healthy and get into basketball shape, the Dowell brothers and Frankie Geib. And so we do have a lot of guys to go to. It's just a matter of, can we hold off early in the season and kind of build some of that chemistry and really get on a roll as the season goes on.
And Coach, obviously talking to a lot of players, coaches kind of harp and say players get better, in the summer, working out and working on their game. But I think watching Kipper Nichols last year, from the first game, the game against St. Vincent St. Mary, to the end of the year, the strides he made in season were just incredible. What makes him such a special player, and why do you think he's able to improve so much throughout the season?
Well, I think, like you said, it's a lot about just learning and understanding how to play the game. He has the God-given ability. He's got the God-given talent. He's very skilled. But once he understands how to play and play within a system, I think a lot of kids, not just Kipper, but a lot of the elite kids try to do everything themselves and try to, when they go to the summer, they get a lot of shots and they play a lot of individual basketball and they work on their individual skills. I think the real good players develop during the season, and they understand how to play defense, how to play hard, how to share the ball, and really kind of feed off of their teammates. And I think that's what Kipper did last year. And to be honest with you, I think we're dealing with that again this year. I think he may start off slow, I don't know, but he's going to keep getting better and better as the year goes on and keep adjusting to how teams are playing him, because now he is the main guy. And we're going to see how he reacts to that. But when you go through what you did last year as a junior, Mike Ryan and Kipper Nichols and Derek, how they handled that state championship run, that can only be, beneficial to us and how we play this year.
Coach, you mentioned Derek Funderburk. Here's a guy that is going to have a big year. You said, you're excited to coach him this year. Everyone views him as a really good front court player, but I've seen him a couple of times and over the offseason. His ball handling looks terrific. He's got a good shot. Just describe him a little. Is he more than a front court player? Can he do some things that guards can do?
Yes. He's our whole backcourt, front court guys with Mike Ryan, Kipper, and Derek. They all have unique skills and ability, and they're not your true, back to the basket post type players. They all can square up, shoot the ball pretty well, handle the ball pretty well. So again, it's my biggest concern going into this season, obviously, is that we become a jump shooting, soft type of basketball team on the offensive end where we settle a lot from the perimeter. And I think these guys can fall into that if they're not, careful about it. So, but Derek and Kipper are both very good at on the perimeter and attacking the basket. So I have to test my ability as a coach and try to get these guys some opportunities to play, maybe 12, 15, 19 feet from the basket and make us a good team while doing it.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, St. Edward starts their state title defense on Friday at Bedford, and best of luck this season, Coach.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
I mean, when you look at Coach Flannery's team, obviously very loaded once again, and now let's go. Obviously, he has some of the best players in the area. Tim, let's start off with you. When when I ask you who's the best players in the area, who's the first name that comes to mind?
Issa Ahmad. It's just a quick one to mention just because he's the defending player of the year last year. It's rare to have that guy back. But, Issa Ahmad from Shaker Heights, it's hard to find something in this game that he doesn't have. He's got the size. He's got the athleticism. He's got the jump shot. He's got the ability to play defense, both on the perimeter, especially in the post when it's so important to defend. I mean, when it comes to a player, when you're looking for a total package player from a forward, Issa Ahmad is pretty much the guy you draw up.
I love Issa, and I think that one of the things that we're going to see this year is more of a debate of who the top player is. I think last year Issa sort of ran away with it, but I'm expecting a bigger year from Carlton Bragg. I think right now when you talk to our fans, when you talk to our coaches, I think they're pretty split. Who's better, Issa or Carlton? And I'm going to say, I agree with Coach Flannery. I think that Derek Funderburk is the type of player who is going to just burst onto the scene and just start, possibly averaging like 20 and 10. I just think that he can put up monster numbers. And then Kipper Nichols is another guy. But I guess those four are the ones that really stick out.
Some of the players that Coach Flannery has coached in his career. Obviously, Sam Clancy, a star at USC. Steve Logan, if he's saying he's one of the best he's ever coached, I think that should get your attention immediately.
Yeah.
And guys, a couple weeks ago, we had Boys Basketball Media Day where we were able to interview some of the teams and best players, and we are actually now going to show a video from that day.
We definitely have the talent or the ability to get back. So compared to other teams in Northeast Ohio and in our area, I think we have enough, as do a lot of other teams, to get there. So as always, it's a matter of how we gel, how we come together and really not just live on last year's success and rebuild and try to do it again this year.
What is Zach's favorite subject in school?
Math? There you go.
It's been really exciting. We got a great group of kids, unbelievable workers. You know, we were just saying this morning with our staff that our kids sometimes need to take a little break because they're so intense in practice and get after it so much.
Go Tar Players.
Last year, the guys came together so well that it was like they played together forever, and so that'll carry over.
I'm going to quiz each of them and see how well they know their teammates. What is Joe's favorite food?
Joe's favorite food. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Yeah. Okay. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and show everybody your answer?
Spaghetti.
Pepper steak.
Yep.
All right. Who did Michael pick to win the NCAA men's basketball championship this year? No, dude, go for three.
Last year we ended the season with 3 seniors and 5 sophomores in the top 8 in our rotation. So those 5 sophomores now, they gained valuable experience playing last year on varsity. Those 5 are going to make up our starting 5 this year. So we bring back a crew, even though they're juniors, they're experienced. So we've got a good group of juniors coming back.
Good.
And welcome back. Fun day definitely. A couple days there on the Boys Basketball Media Day. And now we're going to take it and just kind of break it down division by division. We're going to look at some of the best teams, players, things like that. So, Tim, I know we just had Coach Flannery on the phone. Division I, best team.
St. Ed's. I mean, you look at probably the best front court in Northeast Ohio with Nichols, Funderburk, and Mike Ryan. They've got the experience of winning the state championship. It's hard to not see the road to Columbus not going through St. Ed's, at least from up here in Northeast Ohio.
Dave?
Ed's by a hair. I mean, there's a reason when you look at our poll, it goes in order. Ed, Shaker, Garfield, East-tech-Ignatius. These are all quality Division I teams.
I'm going to get on this, and I'm going to agree with you guys on this one with St. Ed's. Not a whole lot of debate there. All right, Tim, maybe besides those top few teams as David listed, who's a sleeper team that you're looking at?
I'm looking at st-Ignatius. I mean, it's a team in a similar boat as St. Ed's. You know, there's some unknowns. They graduated some guys, including Eric Black and Danny Bova, but they have a very good three-point shooter in Devin Stover. They got a bunch of guys who can shoot the ball. They're always a deep team. If they can really piece together a good deep rotation, they can knock down those outside shots. St-Ignatius can be a very difficult team to beat.
Dave?
I'm going to go back and say Bedford again. They just remind me of East-Tech last year. They got great guards. They've got the balance in the front court. I think they play an attacking style that could lend itself to some victories in March.
I'm going to go Berea Mid-Park. I know they lost Alex Brown, but they have Nolan Garrity, who at times last year was very impressive. You can't coach height. And they had some nice role players that can hit the outside shot. So I think the Titans, as you said, Tim, lost a tough game to St. Ignatius in the playoffs. So I think they could surprise some people. And now let's go best player in Division I.
Got to be some Adam Shaker Heights in my mind. Again, there's really nothing he can't do. I'm just curious to see how his game's going to elevate even more as he gets into his senior season.
Hands down, Issa Ahmad.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go Kipper Nichols.
All right.
I like Kipper Nichols. I think the way he improved throughout the season, and I think his upside, I think, as Coach Flannery said, he's still got a lot of room to grow. And I think you're going to see Kipper take that leadership role and really blow up and have a big-time year. So a lot of good players down Division I think we can all agree on. Division II, kind of the same thing. Dave, best team?
Best team in Division II is Central Catholic. You know, I think the last couple of years it's always been, all right, Central Catholic or St. V. But I think that St. V is a little more question mark. Central Catholic brings back almost everyone from last year, and the only question is, can Jeremy Holmes coach him? And I think he can.
Tim, any disagreement?
Nope, I got to go Central Catholic just because of those three guys. Again, Beck, Lillard, Montel McRae. It's hard to go against those three guys.
Des Crosby, a good point guard, too.
No
I
doubt.
think he'll really fit in well for them.
All right, I'm going to go 3 for 3 as well on that. I think Cleveland Central Catholic, as you said, maybe the least amount of question marks than anybody outside of maybe Villa-Angela-St-Joseph. All right, sleeper team in Division 2, Tim?
I'm going to go kind of a little out there, St. V's obviously good. I'm going to go Lake Catholic, and I'm going to go because I think they have a guy who I might say is one of the best players in Division II no one's talking about, Justin Robinson. He's the guy who can fill up the basket. Him and Xavier Powers last year were a tremendous tandem, but when Powers was out towards the end of the season, Robinson was just on fire, especially in a game at Beechwood late in the season where he was just knocking down big shot after big shot after big shot. If he has a big year, I feel like Lake Catholic's going to really turn some heads.
Dave?
I'm tempted to say you can't really call them a sleeper because of their success, but St. V, I think they're going to be better than last year, even though they lost King and Hudson. But my traditional pick is Holy Name. Lawrence Johnson is a great player. Dwayne Cahill, freshman, he's going to have the biggest impact probably of any freshman out there. And when you look at Holy Name, their district takes them in a different path and an easier path than teams like Central Catholic and St. Vincent St. Mary. So I think that they have a nicer road. I'm going
to go St. Vincent St. Mary, and I agree with you that they'll be a better team. I think by the end of the year they'll have R.J. Jones. This is a team that's going to be able to flat out get after you 94 feet, really pressure opposing point guards, and I think make life very difficult for opposing coaches trying to game plan for them. And now best player of Division II, I think it's probably going to be a consensus as well. David?
Best player in Division II? I mean, I guess I'll have to go with Terrell Beck. There's actually a lot of strong players, and I think that he kind of stands out as the most versatile and just someone that can really develop from sophomore to junior year here. But it's really a tough one for me.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree on Terrell Beck, especially the way he closed out last year. He had a tremendous performance at VASJ to end the regular season. Him and Antoine Lillard combined for 50.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got the ability to do a lot of great things. He's athletic. He can shoot outside. He can block shots.
He's a defender too. Yeah.
He's no doubt a very versatile player.
Yep, going to go same. I just want to see him keep that level, that intensity throughout every game, and I think he can be almost unguardable at times. Division III, maybe one of the most exciting districts last year. Obviously, VASJ, Warrensville Heights. Tim, is it VASJ's kind of the king of the castle, if you'd say?
Yeah, I'd say right now, at least when you look at the north end of the state, it's VASJ's road to Columbus, and everyone else is trying to stop them. I think they're on a mission after what happened last year, falling just short against Lima Central Catholic. They return all but one guy on that team when it comes to losing seniors, I should say. But that's an experienced team. That's a talented team, and I think they're on a mission this year.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go with the Vikings. There's really, no one can really. I mean, Warrensville Heights is good, but villa-angela-st-joseph is just a clear-cut pick.
I agree. They got the size down low that you don't see in most high schools, let alone Division III. So it's going to be very difficult for teams to score on them. All right, sleeper team. This is where I think it could get interesting.
Yeah, I mean, gotta go Warrensville Heights. I mean, again, it could be a situation last year where they kind of start a bit slow, but towards the end of the year, they start to catch fire, especially as Brandon Peters and Uvari Hall learn to play with each other, and they learn to mesh and figure things out in the court. So I imagine by the end of the year, we'll be saying the same things about Warrensville Heights that we were saying last year, that this could be one of the hottest teams in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go Warrensville. I'll just, throw another team out there. I think Beechwood is going to be better than people think. I know they lost a strong senior class in John Davis III, who's starting at Furman right now. But they got Macy Daly, they got Ronald Jones, they've got John Davis's brother, Jalen. They got some quality guys, and they'll be better at the end of the year.
I'm going to go Beechwood. I think Warrensville Heights is going to be very, very good. But I think, as you said, Beechwood's going to be a tougher team to guard. Coach came in and kind of talked about that at Media Day. You're not going to be able to focus on one guy. There's going to be 5-6 guys. So maybe a little tougher to game plan and match up for. And then the best player in each division. Division III?
Carlton Bragg. Brian Parker is very, very good, but Brian Parker's sort of been the better player on the team the last couple of years, but I really have a feeling that Carlton is going to take his game to another level this year.
This is going to be the first time we have a disagreement on best player. I'm going to go Brian Parker. I mean, he was the Division III Player of the Year last year. Everybody kind of forgets that when you look at this team. Everybody focuses on Carlton Bragg. You forget Brian Parker was the Division III Co-Player of the Year along with Martise Kimbrough from Lima Central Catholic. Parker's got the ability as a big guard to really do a lot of damage all over the floor.
I'm going to say Carlton Bragg's best player, but I think the biggest impact is Uvari Hall.
Yes.
I think he burst on the scene and will just be a star this year. I think it's his team now. He obviously some great seniors out of last year's team. I think he's going to step up into that role and become the next great player at Warrensville Heights. And we'll wrap it up with Division 4. Dave, best team?
Best team is Richmond Heights. They almost made it to Columbus last year. They got a good coach in Jason Pryor, and they'll be knocking on the door, if not getting down there this year.
I got to go Richmond Heights again. Seeing them in that regional final against St. Thomas Aquinas, it was one of the most exciting games I saw of last season. It was so close the whole way, and Richmond Heights was just this close from getting to Columbus. And I mean, when you have a 6'9" guy in Mike Parks in Division 4, that's a tremendous advantage.
No argument for me. I think Richmond Heights, as you said, the fact they didn't make it last year will be the motivation that could help get them get there this year. And then sleeper team, David.
It's tough. They're just like last year. There aren't too many quality teams in Division 4. I'll say Cornerstone Christian. I think that they have a good coach over there, and even though they lost their talented player in Brian G, I think they'll be right there and back in districts and regionals.
Tim?
Yeah, I like the way Cornerstone played last year, and I'm going to go with them again. Again, even though they lost Brian G, that's a team that plays with a lot of energy. It's a very athletic, aggressive team, and they're just going to make a lot of plays. And I feel like they have a shot to also make another nice playoff run.
All right, I'm going to agree again. So we'll just now go to the best player. And I think you guys kind of hinted at it early, Dave.
Yeah, it's Mike Parks, Richmond Heights. Big guy, can do a lot of things, and you know, he can score down low, he can defend. If he stays out of foul trouble, Richmond Heights is going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, and I'll say Mike Parks again because, I mean, like I mentioned, 6'8", 6'9" guys don't come that often in Division 4. Mm-hmm. And with his ability to defend, that's in the post, that's a tremendous advantage that teams in Division 4 just really aren't able to match up with.
All right, we're going to go a clean sweep on this one. I'm going to agree with you guys. And that is it for our show. Remember, boys basketball gets underway Friday, some big matchups. Tune in to cleveland.com throughout the year for your high school boys basketball coverage. Every Monday at 3 p.m. we will be having a basketball show kind of recapping the last week and talking about the previous week. So it should be a great season. We're close, 2 days away. So for Tim Bielik, David Cassilo, I'm Mark Kern at cleveland.com. Thank you.